Hey, hey, hey! I am back. It's been a long time since I did the first couple of videos with my little weak but lovely YouTube channel, YouTube channel I'm doing, and for myself, for documentation of some Lynetta Nicole things. So I'm back. Hey! If you're hanging with me, thank you. I'm going to try to get more involved in this YouTube thing, but it takes time. I'm still working. It takes effort. And, got a lot of things to talk about, but just got to make the time to do it. So I'll just touch base a little on how the first trip was. It was great. First of all, I love Merida, and it's still in my top list of places to get out to, expect to, retire early to. I still love it very much. So I just kind of summarized. I flew in, arrived about 5-6 p.m. on a lovely warm evening, and I had prearranged transportation from an on-the-ground contact. This lady who lives there with her husband, and she offers an array of services, but caters to expats who are trying to retire in the area. But so I just connected with her to just square away a ride because I didn't want to deal with taxis and things like that, and I wasn't yet familiar with Didi. I knew the Uber app would work, but you obviously can't take it directly from the airport. It's just not allowed. You can get a ride share to the airport, but you can't have one picked up there. And once you hit the airport and you head toward the exit, they just bombard you, primarily taxis, with trying to get a ride. And if you don't speak the language well, if you don't feel comfortable with negotiating and the comforts of knowing where you're going and things like that, then I would just recommend trying to prearrange some sort of transportation and just go that route, which is what I did. And Airbnb, I decided with an Airbnb the first trip because I wanted to be in Central. I wanted to be like I was in a home, and I lived there. I didn't want any hotel or anything. I wanted to be in them streets, in the Central, and as if I lived there. So I got a nice Airbnb down there. Centro is great. It's like any other major city downtown. Is loud. It's it's busy. It's it's just a lot going on. You're not gonna get too much quiet, and there. And, it looks like an inner city when you get down there. I mean, you have a lot of old, old architecture, old homes. Nice, but, it's not like going to, the downtown of a suburbia or whatever. But, I already expected that. I have an open mind, so I wasn't really particular about that. I was pleased with my Airbnb. I felt safe. So I did some walking down to Park Grande, I think it was, just to go get a feel, just to get out there. I didn't want to do any more rides, any taxis. I just kind of wanted to walk and feel the essence of the city, feel the neighborhoods, feel the weather, feel the environment, and just kind of be okay to see if I felt okay. There's a lot of talk on these channels and things saying how safe Merida is, but you really don't know until you go and feel. I mean, you could go there and you could not feel safe, even though it's considered one of the, if not the safest city in Mexico. But I needed to know and feel that. So I definitely felt that. So I walked to the park and I think I had a bus tour, scheduled. They have one of those, like you go to Vegas or LA or something, they have the red bus that you can get on with the open top and it goes around wherever. So they actually have that in Merida. I was surprised because I didn't think it was that big, big enough or would take up enough time to do that. But it was a pretty lengthy ride. It was about like an hour and a half. I mean, it just went on it stayed in Merida, but, just Merida is a big little city. It's very congested downtown. And I didn't feel like we sat in a lot of traffic. We covered a lot of ground, but while we were still in Merida. So that, I would recommend that. It's like $7, if you want to jump on. It's a hop on, hop off, or you can stay on the entire time, which is what I did, and just, kind of take things in. I think that's actually, I recommend that. You can get it through Viator. I forget the name of the tour, but I'm sure it's like one of the only, if not the only, bus tour that is there. I recommend that. That was a great kind of introduction to the city, with whether you want to get on or get off, and it kind of takes you to all the main landmarks, and it's very inexpensive. And I said it took like, I don't know, about an hour and a half. It is in Spanish, but I understand Spanish. I don't speak it that well, but I understand it much better, so it wasn't much of a problem. You can use your Google Translate if you really want to know everything that they're saying, but it was really nice. I didn't have any issues with that. I enjoyed it. Again, it was a great introduction to the city. Of course, I stopped in at the Merida sign and got my pictures. Of course, I went to the cathedral and checked that out, and I walked some of the, the areas of that area, Centro, just again to check out the vibe, to see the stores, to see the people, to see the streets, to smell, to hear, just really just get a good warm handshake with Merida, and that was great. And so after I did that, after I got through with the bus tour and just walking around down there, I said, okay, it's time for me to catch a cab or a Didi, a ride share out north, because I want to head out north. I definitely want to go out there and, and just check that out. And nothing specific, I definitely knew I wanted to go to some of the malls out there and just kind of walk around in the malls and just kind of see what that was like, and, just kind of see what the area was like. And it's really nice. I mean, it's nice. It seems to be more modern, and it's not, I enjoy both Centro and North, the North area, but it just seems a little bit more modern out there. It was a lot modern. It was a lot more familiar out there, and things like that. So the mall was great. I think it was not the Alta Barista Mall. I went to two malls, Gallery, I think, and the other one, I forget, it starts with an L. I can't remember. But those were great. Those are great places to go and visit, so you can kind of experience, I guess, the progressive side, or more, I shouldn't say progressive, more modern side of Merida, and then versus, the Centro. It's a little less. It is getting very congested out there, but it's not. It didn't seem as, because it seemed more congested in Centro. But I knew I had to get up with some expats that, lived in Merida. So I had already been in the Facebook groups, and I think the WhatsApp groups, and just tried to start making connections as I got closer to my trip, because I knew I had to get up with some expats if things were going on. And they do have a big expat population there. And not knowing, what to expect. It was going to be me and one other person there, or me and 20 other people there. But it was great. I can't remember none of the names of these places because it's been so long, and I should have been better prepared in terms of telling you where I went, but I'll have them posted. But we went to some kind of art. Well, it was like a live music kind of art event. It was a promotion for something. It was a promotion for something, art, in a restaurant. And so a promotional group had something going on there. And to my surprise, it didn't cost a thing. I was ready, I was counting my pesos. I was like, I want to make sure I don't want to bring all my money, but I didn't want to be out there with not enough pesos, because, I knew I was going to be, I wanted to drink, and I knew I was, maybe possibly wanted to eat. And, I need to make sure I had enough money back. So anyway, it was just great. We just got to talking, and then, more and more people, began to show up, and we kind of all, not everyone knew each other, even though, and it's to be expected, not everybody knows everybody there. Not everybody, just because you're in the expat groups, means that you're going to know everybody. But everybody was just, welcoming. Everybody was just relaxed and happy. I've been to meetups, here in the States, and it was, it was a little different. You got the cliques and you got the people standing off because, you're like, what did they come and what's she doing? It was really none of that. I'm not to say that great gatherings and meetups don't happen here stateside. They do, but I noticed that, and it was just probably because I was just in the mood and in love with and just dancing with Merida. When I left, and I had no issues getting an Uber late and felt safe getting dropped off late and coming in and all that, and it was day one was full and great. And then so day two was, I think I had I had scheduled a private tour, expansive tour, and they picked me up. And they said, look, just tell us what you want to do. What are your interests? Do you want to see real estate? Do you want to see areas of town? Do you want to, go across country? I mean, anything, you wanted to do, they had a different package for that. So I just said, basically, look, I want to drive through, different areas, different cities or, other areas in Merida. I don't want to just be in Central. I want to look at some privadas and things like that. I mean, as much as you could see, which will primarily be drive-bys. But there were a couple of privadas that we could go into. They didn't have guards or whatever. And so they just really took me around to different neighborhoods that I wanted to kind of see. And then we went to, I think it's City 32, which is like a business park there, which is really nice interior. I think they kind of had shopping and lodging and business parks there. It's a pretty popular spot that most people will stop by or recommend when they go to Merida, just to go and eat. We stopped there to get some really delicious tacos and just to check it out. So that was about like half the day, half the day, just having them just drive me around to wherever I wanted to go and in areas that they thought that I might look at, just to get a feel of neighborhoods. I think we went to Concau, we went to a couple of other ones. I can't remember the names, it's terrible, but where we just kind of went and looked at the center of those towns and the residential areas and some of the privadas and housing and things like that. But they gave me so much information too and answered all kinds of questions, any kind of questions that you have. So just like buying that time for like a touring and an informational kind of session, which was really great. And after they dropped me off, I think I just went walking again. I went hoofing it, I think I didn't go to the Walmart, but I wanted to walk to the, a local, their version of they have Walmart there, but I forget the name of the store, but a local, store chain that's similar to Walmart, and just walk around in there and kind of just see what the prices were like, see what they offered, and that was, I don't know, probably about a 10-15 minute walk from where I was staying. But again, just to get out there, to walk the neighborhood, to feel, to hear, to smell, just to see if all of my senses were in tune, and if just to see if it, if it felt right. And it really did. It was hot, but again, this was in November, so this wasn't hot, but it was hot. But I wanted to feel, that heat. I wanted to see, what the walkability was like, because I'm not much of a walker. I am when I go on vacation, when I go on vacation, just something clicks and I'm superwoman and I could walk all day and stop to eat two things. I have to remind myself to eat because I'll just be so taken and involved with where I'm at. So that always happens, but I just kind of wanted to experience that and see how I was going to be with that in that heat. And again, November wasn't real heat, but it was hot. And it was. I just would recommend that you just have an open mind. If you don't want to walk, the transportation, I did not take public transportation. I was scared. Not scared. I don't like taking public transportation here at home. And if you want to call me bourgeoisie, then that's fine. But I don't do buses and stuff. I just recommend when you do go, just having an open mind and just being, being ready to explore and, and being ready to be frustrated with not knowing how to ask for help, or to speak or to maybe comprehend, just be prepared to be frustrated and don't be afraid. That's one of the best places that you want to be lost in and not worried about, I'd rather be lost in Merida than in LA or New York or, another place like that. Day 3 was Progresso. And again, I had connected with somebody ahead of time, a driver, to say that somebody had recommended, who took me out to Progresso because I wanted to spend, like half the, day there. And it was probably about, 45 minutes, maybe an hour. It didn't take any time at all to get picked up from my Airbnb and be taken all the way out there. And again, these people go above and beyond, I just wanted somebody to drive me there. He had quoted me, an amount, a fixed amount for what it was going to be, regardless, of what it was. It was the hours, and his committed time is what, so we had that figure agreed on. But I'm just like, I'm not expecting, you can I just need to get there and I just need you to, pick me up, at this certain time. But, he was like, yeah, if you want, I can walk with you, I can, he obviously spoke English and Spanish, but, so yeah, he's like, I can, be your guide. I can stay with you if you want, because it was just me. And I told him what I wanted to do. I told him, no, I just want to go up. I'm not planning on, it's too cold to get in the water. It was too windy. I'm just going to go and walk the boardwalk or the maricon. I don't know what it's called. I probably just said a curse word in Spanish. I don't know. The mark, I don't know what it's called. But just to walk that boardwalk in Progresso and just sit down and have lunch and, just sightsee. I just wanted to get a feel of what it was like there. And so I did that. And of course, it's beautiful. It's very beautiful, more than, I don't know what I expected. I guess I expected Galveston. I don't know why, but it was far from that. Beautiful beaches, white sandy beaches. So many things to do. I only went to one side. And a little of the other side, but just so much to do. Time goes by there because you just get lost in the things that they have to do there. If you're going to do some shopping and get caught up in those tourist traps, you can do that. But I didn't, that wasn't my intent. And I decided to go to the little dinosaur museum where they talk about, where the meteor hit there. I saved that for the next trip for me and my friend that went. But yeah, I had a great time out there. So that was nice. So yeah, I spent that day in Progresso, and I think I was leaving the next morning. So that was pretty much it. I'm sure I did more walking around. I did a lot of walking and just went out exploring on my own. I really enjoy it. I really love it. And it's definitely still a high contender on my place to, one of the places that I'm going to try to early retire to or move to before if I can. And I definitely recommend you getting out there if you have an interest, and just having that open mind and, just kind of relaxing what your normal what your normal expectations would be here stateside, as if you were going to, across to another state or whatever here. Just be relaxed, be open-minded, be prepared to be, maybe frustrated, but it's a good frustration because you're in a new environment. There's a language barrier. There's a cultural difference, which you just have to kind of be open to. You just can't come down here and you know, with your same cultural expectations and, you know, expect to everybody to just bend to, you know, what you want because you're the tourist, where they might do in other countries and things like that. Mexico is not, Merida is you know, it's nice for tourists, but, and there is tourism there, especially around Progreso and the Central, you know, where they're trying to sell you goods and services, but there's just also, the underlying, the everyday, you know, we want welcoming. We want you to, you know, have a good time. We want you to enjoy our food, our land, our environment, our music, our, you know, our heat, our way of living, you know, and our humility. And it was great. Definitely recommend it. And I'll definitely tell you about the second trip in the next video. Thanks for sticking with me. Ciao.